Welcome to this training screencast. I'm going to be covering dashboards and specifically dashboard sources. This is session 1. It's going to be covering dashboard sources and how do we add the sources to a dashboard. Let's jump a little bit forward and just see what a dashboard looks like and what we're working towards. So I'm going to open InfoStore. Let's go take a look at a dashboard. So this is a dashboard which you can see contains a number of dashboard items down here at the bottom. I'm going to load the data up. And the cool thing about a dashboard is that the user can interact with the different elements. So by clicking on, for example, the pie chart, it applies a filter across the entire dashboard. When we're talking about dashboard sources, that's the source of all of this data over here. We can have one or more sources feeding a dashboard. So for example, that grid can be running off one source and that pie chart can be running off a different source. So it's a way of aggregating a whole lot of data and showing it to a user. What I did just to make the demo interesting is that I have this chart of whiskies with whiskey flavor and color, and I used that to create a dummy data set. So it's important to realize that in version 3.6, that's the version that has dashboards, that a dashboard source is linked to a stored procedure. So I've created a stored procedure which represents that whiskey data. There I have the name of the whiskey, the flavor, the color, and a few other bits of information. What's useful is if you prefix the stored procedure with SPDV. Well, that helps the screen, the dashboard source screen, to find the stored procedures easily. You can use other names as well, but this is just a mechanism to make your life a little bit easier when you're working on the dashboard source screen. But once again, it's important to realize that a dashboard source is represented by a stored procedure. Moving back again to InfoStore, we're going to be looking at the dashboard source designer, the dashboard source management screen. And I'm going to add a whole new dashboard source. Just going to be starting off by entering some general information. And when it comes to picking the store procedure, when I drop down this combo list, you can see it picks up all store procedures prefixed with SPDV. So this is what I was saying previously, that it just makes things a bit easier when you want to find the store procedure. You can enter the text there manually as well. There are no limits around that. That just makes it easier. When I pick the store procedure, this screen automatically detects the parameters going in to the store procedure and the fields that are returned by the store procedure. So just taking a look here, we see that there's country and region as parameters. Looking at the store procedure, you can see it over there, country and region. And those are the 5 fields that are returned. And then on the screen we can see the 5 fields that are returned. So what do we do with this dashboard source? I'm going to close that one down without saving it because I do have a few others within the system. If we go into dashboards and the dashboard designer, add a new dashboard, we can see there's a screen there where we can now choose and add the dashboard sources. So when I click add, it brings up a list of all available dashboard sources, and by either double clicking or by highlighting a row and clicking the select button, that will add it to the dashboard. So I'm going to double click those 3, close that screen, and you can see these have been added now to the dashboard. Something to mention quickly, there's this checkbox on the right, visible on designer. What that means is if it's checked, we can use this dashboard source on the designer to feed into those different dashboard items. If it's not checked, then the source is only available for other uses, and we can use these dashboard sources to drive, for example, lookup lists. So that's just a convenient filter mechanism. So next time I'm going to cover the parameters, and we can see how we can use the sources for these parameters.